What's up, gamers? As of Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, we've gotten our first official look at the Anbernic RG35XXSP. Man, that's a mouthful to say, and I do have some thoughts about it. Before we get into this first look trailer from Anbernic, I'm almost at 2,500 subscribers. I would love it if you would go ahead and hit that subscription button and that notification bell. I'm working really hard overtime to bring you all kinds of gaming content, and I really appreciate your support. But let's get into that trailer. So here is a look at it and the colors that we can expect to come from this. Immediately, what caught my eye is that transparent blue. It looks, they call it transparent blue. It looks more like a periwinkle to me, but that's neither here nor there. I like all the colors, actually. I think that the silver one there looks the most like the original Game Boy Advance SP, but actually if you scroll down a little bit and look at what they say, it says the four colors are classic silver, gray, technological black, and blue transparent. Technological black. I've never heard of that color before, but there it is right there on the right side. Let's just watch a little bit of this trailer and see what we think about it. Now, they don't have any voiceover in this trailer at all. It's just the sounds from the game. So I'm going to leave that muted, but here you can see that they put on an overlay that says Game Boy Advance SP, and there you don't have it with the PSP. You can see some dips in the frame rate. Actually, it's probably just a frame skip running on the PSP here. Something the first look trailers on the other RG35XX consoles didn't have was a look at the Nintendo 64. So it looks like we're getting a Nintendo 64 emulator as soon as this launches. They show off a couple of games here, and one of the things from the leaks that seems to have been removed is it had this weird logo on top of that, on top of the device, on the outer part of the screen of the lid. And that seems to be totally gone. I did not see a single positive comment about that logo, and so I'm actually glad to see that they've smoothed that out, that that's completely gone. I love that they're showing off Dolphin Blue from the Atomus Wave. That is such an excellent looking game. Looks like it's running really smoothly here. Again, I really like the way that transparent blue looks. This is probably the one that I'm going to pick up when I do my review. Thank you for subscribing so you don't miss that content. Now, they're showing off a whole bunch of different consoles here in this first look trailer, and I actually really like this. This is something they didn't really do with the RG556. They kind of just showed GameCube and PS2, which is what most people were interested in playing there, so I get it. But I like that they're showing a very wide range of things here, from DOS to Neo Geo to the Game Boy Advance, and they say in the description that there's more than 30 platforms that are supported here. And then we get to this part here, which actually really took me off guard, that this supports, I'm going to pause that for a second, supports Moonlight streaming from your PC. And this is something that I don't remember being supported on the other 35XX consoles. Maybe they've updated the stock OS since then and have brought this to that, and I just missed that somehow. But this was very surprising to me. Also, you're going to get that 4-player co-op over Wi-Fi, which is always really cool to see. Of course, you have to know 4 other people who have a handheld like this. And then, of course, you get that Bluetooth controller support, which is also good to see. HDMI out, still good to see on these devices. I know that that might be a little more niche in terms of its use, but for people who really want to take this, travel with this, turn this into a home console, maybe as you travel, maybe on a hotel TV or at your grandma's house or something like that. It's really neat to see that HDMI out still available on here. So what I'm excited about this device is, of course, that clamshell form factor. That's something we haven't seen a lot from these retro handheld companies. I actually really like the look of all of the buttons being recessed, and I know they did that so that when you close the screen, the buttons don't put any pressure on the screen and it can close flush and flat. But I just think it has just a really neat look to it, a really neat retro look to it. And so I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how that feels when you're actually playing. I assume that they have shortened the travel distance between the buttons and the D-pad. You can actually tell if you look really close. I think they do look shorter, and so I'm interested to see how that feels in gameplay. I am so glad that the speaker is on the front of this device, that it is a front-facing speaker. I think that's going to be great for sound. They are using just a room mic to record this, and just one other thing that I've noticed watching this is that I don't hear any of the buttons clicking, and I'm really glad about that because I don't like clicky buttons. And then, of course, from what we can see, if you look in the top right corner, it looks like we've got 2 micro SD card slots, 3.5mm headphone jack. I don't really get a good look at it anywhere in here, but you can kind of tell that there are shoulder buttons right behind the screen there. And I'm excited about that because for some reason, those just look like they're going to be really comfortable to me, and I don't know why I think that. Maybe it's the distance. It looks like it is from your thumbs and stuff, and it just looks really comfortable to me. So I'm excited to test that out. And of course, you can kind of see on the side that there's some buttons on that right side. You probably have a volume rocker, power button, a reset button. The one thing that I really do wish they had maybe done a little bit differently is that we've seen images of the Miu Mini Flip, and it has those joysticks, and I know that that presents a challenge in a clamshell device, but when you've got this Moonlight streaming and some of these like PSP and N64 games, I really do wish that we had at least one joystick, even if it was a slider for those higher end games, and that's missing from this device. And again, we don't actually know, they didn't confirm this, but they haven't released the specs yet, but we do assume that this is running with that H700 chip, which we know can run quite a few PSP and N64 games really well. And so I just wish we had Paperboy. I love Paperboy 64. It's like weirdly satisfying when you can just throw the paper right into that mailbox. Anyway, I wish we had a joystick for that. I feel weird playing games that traditionally use a joystick with a D-pad. And again, we got that Moonlight streaming, and not having a joystick for a lot of games is going to be impossible to play. It almost seems like that feature is just a missed opportunity to even have Moonlight included if you don't have joysticks. So that's my one big gripe about this device, is that I wish they had figured out a way to implement that. But overall, I mean, look at that. It just looks so nostalgic. It's so different from what we've been getting with the candy bar style ones and the vertical style handhelds. This is just a whole different market, and I'm excited to see them trying something different, something new, and hopefully this is going to be just a slam dunk winner of a device for them. And again, I think we're seeing here that they are actively pursuing making their stock OS better and better. Which is really good news, because that's something that they haven't necessarily done in the past. But what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's your favorite color? What systems are you excited to play on this? Thanks for liking and subscribing and all that jazz. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.